Here we are, back in Obsidian. Let's go. Okay, so yeah, right here, as you can see, this is the last animal that we made. The I forget. I've forgotten which language. Um, damn it, I forgot which language this name was made in and how to pronounce it. But yes, the name is the name. I can talk. I promise. I know how to talk. Um, the name means ground paralysis. So yeah, it has tetrodotoxin, and I also wanted it to cause extreme shitting, but unfortunately we could not get that done realistically from a fish, at least. So instead, we'll put that on a plant. Why not? We'll make a plant cause people to evacuate their bowels heavily. I don't know what it is. I think I'm watching too many of those. I don't know if anyone else has been watching them. Those videos with that Australian guy Paz, and he talks about all the various nightmare animals and plants that inhabit the hellscape known as Caled. I mean, Australia. Um, I'm getting inspired by those, so I'm just obsessed with making everything. Everything in this world is just out to get you, and it wants to kill you and eat you. Basically, everything either wants to kill you, eat you, or breed with you, or maybe all three at once, which is far more terrifying. Anywho, I need to open up Opera. Oh my god, I can't spell today. So we're going to be doing another big mass file transfer for this one because unlike the water animals, I actually did make quite a few flying animals, one of which has a prominent role in book 2. So I'm very happy with that. So let's we'll wait for Opera to get its shit together. Oh god, I've got Twitch open on there. Don't make any sound. And CD Projekt Red. Don't know why that's there. Oh yeah, for the second half of this stream is going to be fun because I've got a funny thing for us to do. Because anyone who's been here before knows that we have the first half where we do a bunch of writing, whether it's adding lore, doing lore building, or just why is Twitch notifying me here? Yes, thank you. I'm aware that I'm live. You don't need to tell me 3 times. Anyway, so yeah, first half is writing, and then the second half, which is usually about 2-3 hours later. So this segment will be like 2 to 3 hours because especially now that I'm jobless and have all my time to myself, I want to try and make every stream at least 4 hours long. I'm still yet to, I think the longest we've gone is 4 hours and 17 minutes. So maybe today we can beat that record if we have a lot to do and a lot to discuss. I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best to just waffle forever about one thing, and I will allow myself to go on as many tangents as possible just to stretch that time out. So, oh god. Oh yeah, speaking of tangents, I was going to say, so the first half is writing. Second half, we do horror stuff. I get into my devil wear, and we do some horror things. The plan for this stream was to do Phasmophobia. And we will get to Phasmophobia because I require, I need to, what's the word I'm looking for? I need to redeem myself after I got thoroughly embarrassed the last time when Walter was eating my ass, and then Brian completely wrecked me. God, that sounds like a weird opening, like a very gay opening, which, I mean, I mean, I'm not. It's not like I'm a stranger to gay openings, but I'm just saying. Anyway, enough of that. Yeah, this time we'll be doing something a little different. I'm not going to say what we'll do. I will just reveal it when we get to it. But it's not going to be Phasmophobia this time, and it's not going to be ARGs or animated horror stories this time. That comes next time. Yeah, it's going to be really fun, and I think it's also going to be very funny. But for now, we write. So let's get a new folder going. I think for the flying category, we will separate this. How should we separate this? Let's do birds and then insects. Oh god, we don't need a new note. I'll leave that there. We'll just utilize that later. There we go. And like I said in my last stream as well, I'm going to do my best to just talk more generally. Although I can give myself a little bit of leeway for... Why do I always get notifications when I'm streaming? Like all day, I would be delighted to receive notifications for anything, to be like, ooh, maybe I'm popular, let's see what's going on. But I get nothing. And then the minute I'm streaming or if I'm editing a video, the moments where I'm just like, okay, everyone, do not disturb me, I'm not home, go away. That's when I get notifications everywhere. People just want me when my time is not available, which is kind of rude. Let's say that it's just general notifications from like Instagram and Threads, like, oh, this person replied to your comment. Really? I'm not bothered. That was a comment I left last year. It's like I still get notifications for the comments I made on like TikToks from like 2 years ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, I got a comment on a comment that I made on a video, and it was from like 5 years ago or something. I just looked at, I had to reply, and I was like, dude, really? You're revisiting this old thing? I can't even remember what it was I said. It was on a video about something that would stir up a political shitstorm, obviously, because you know me, I'm a professional shit stirrer. Anyway, yeah. I'm just gonna put my phone. Well, actually, I can't put my phone away. I do need it to see how the stream is going. And oh god, am I frozen? Or is it my phone's frozen? Oh no, that's not good. Please don't be frozen. I don't like that. Please just be my phone. Oh god. Okay. Just gonna turn my head a little bit to check. Yeah, it seems good. Okay. False alarm. We're fine. Now then, let's actually do some work into talk. We can talk about actual writing things instead of just rambling about TikTok and failure. So first things first, we need to start with first we need to start with going through the long and winding road through the subfolders of my Google Drive. One of these days, I will give you all a tour of my Google Drive just so you can see how much crap I have made for this world build and how easy it is to just lose everything. Because honestly, I get lost in this source so often. See, I went into the wrong subfolder. I think I have to click through like 4 or 5 subfolders to get to the lore, and then even then I've got more subfolders. Okay, creatures, subfolder. Flying, subfolder. Okay, good. So there's just Google Documents here. So first things first, as we did with the water creatures session, we have a fact sheet here, which unfortunately is only on the birds. So I think I will need to also copy. Oh well, I've got the insects thing here, but then we have land insects. You know what? I'll take the fact sheet that I have on insects and I'll put that in the insects folder. So for now, bird fact sheet. There we go. Okay. Oh no, we want to keep that because then we get the lovely little line here. Did I add obsidian as a tag for the stream? Is that even a thing? Would that work? May as well. I'm gonna give that a try. How do I edit? Oh, I can edit stream info. Sweet. Okay. Let's go. Obsidian. Oh, it is there. That's awesome. Save that. Wonderful. Okay. I really hope you didn't hear that motorbike. Right. Sorry, I was getting lost looking at all the options I have for quick actions on mobile. There's so much more. Oh god, my my phone is running out of battery. Don't die, little guy. There's so many more options for quick actions on the mobile stream manager than there is on the web stream manager, which I really don't understand. Because I think more than anything, I would want to use the web stream manager if I had two monitors that weren't janky as hell. But instead I'm using my laptop and a TV, which is way less than optimal, but whatever. So anyway, let's guide through this little thing. So here we have the creatures of Dagon that dominate the skies. Now, because of the way that my planet works, as I explained before, animals are formed very differently on this planet because there's so many different factors. The higher temperature overall on the planet, the denser oceans, the outrageous storms that rage around. Everything from like the mountains being shorter to the trees being shorter and thicker and all that kind of stuff. Everything plays its part in how the animals are different. So, oh my god, it is a curse having my voice. So let's go through this. The creatures of Dagon that dominate the skies have giant wingspans. So that's very important. That's one of the things that we need to note down because that will be very, very important for when we are making new birds, as well as reviewing the ones that I've already made because some of them might be wrong because I made them ages ago. So they rely primarily on gliding because the atmosphere on this planet is a little thicker. So you will not find any birds that are like hummingbirds or... Okay, hummingbird is the only bird I know that flaps quickly. Sparrows, and I think starlings as well. I don't know. List of birds. You can hear my opera sounds. I'm gonna mute opera because you're gonna be hearing you're gonna hear me tippy tapping because I have a I've got the opera sounds on, so I downloaded one that makes it sound like a typewriter. That's just for my own aesthetic when I'm writing, so that I feel like a real writer. I've always wanted a typewriter, not to actually use professionally, but just to, I mean, maybe I would use it professionally, but it would be mostly for fun, just be like, look at me, I'm a typewriter. I'm that kind of person. Okay, list of birds that flap. Fast. I need this knowledge. I need to know. I've been training myself. This is very important. I feel like this is good advice for everyone. If you're ever oh my god, where's my water? Right. Consume water like a horse. Anyway, yeah, this is good advice for anyone. If you're ever curious about something, like if you don't know something and you think, I wonder, search it. Don't let yourself just keep thinking or just give up and go, oh, well, I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. Search it. Gain new knowledge. It's so much fun, the things that you can learn when you just satisfy that 2-second craving for knowledge. Yeah, top fast flappers. Why is that funny to me? What's wrong with me? I don't know why that's so funny to me. I'm childish. Okay, so top fast flappers with highest frequencies. So we have hummingbirds. Well, I knew that. Swifts. I've never heard of a swift. What's a swift? I'm assuming it's a bird that goes quite fast. I wonder where I got that idea. Okay, that's not a link. I can't click that, so I'm just gonna Google search it. We're going off a tangent here, but you know what? I want this stream to last, so we're going to satisfy the curiosity whenever we want. I googled Swift, and the first thing I get is Swift tickets on trains. Oh, that's a Swift. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, that's adorable. Look at that little thing. There's a little round head. It looks like a baby hawk. That is a majestic wingspan. Wow. Okay, and chickadees. High velocity birds, peregrine falcons, ducks and teals, pigeon guillemot, I think that's how you say it, and starlings. I knew it. So swallows are not on this list. They're not fast flappers. But starlings are known for rapid, consistent flapping flight, so I got that right. Haha. See, I am intelligent sometimes. Oh my god, water tastes so damn good. Okay, wow. Starlings flap at 45 beats per 10 seconds. That's quite impressive. I don't think I can manage 10 beats per 10 seconds. I am so sorry. That was terrible. I'll never make jokes like that again. 700 beats per 10 seconds for a hummingbird. That's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Man, you'd be raw after that. Be on fire. Okay, now I'll stop, I promise. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, birds on my planet. Let's get back to this. You can see I'm back in Obsidian now. Birds on my planet, they don't flap a lot. They can, but they usually don't. They rely a lot more on gliding. And so, of course, a byproduct of that would be if a bird isn't the term bird of prey for predator birds? I'm going to search this and verify my knowledge. Birds of prey are predatory birds, also known as raptors. I like that more. Okay, yeah, so birds of prey. They will rely on the same method that falcons use for attacking their prey. Speedy diving. Rely on gliding, gain momentum by jumping from high points and then beating their wings a few times to gain altitude. Did I just mess up English just then? I just heard that sentence back in my head and it sounded wrong for some reason. Oh. So, the birds of Dagon rely primarily on swooping and diving methods in order to catch their food, and they rarely grab with their claws because of difficulty gaining altitude in quick time. Because obviously they're going to be stuck there forever, flapping away, and it's going to be very tiring. They might not even get off it. They might not even get up in the air in time. What is wrong with me today? I'm having a senior moment. Anyway, Also, my birds look very reptilian in appearance. I'm going to get a reference picture. So, for those of us who know our evolution, we know that birds weren't always feathered. Do we know that? I'm pretty sure we do know that. So let me take a look here, see if I can find a good example. Let me see here. Okay, so from what I remember from my classes in evolution and the origins of birds, which was taught to me by a extremely intelligent woman, the birds didn't always have feathers. They had scales and feathers. And then, well, scales, then scales and feathers, then feathers. So let me take a look here. The Archaeopteryx, a genus of bird-like dinosaur. So this was a dinosaur that looked a lot like a bird. I mean, let's see. Let's make things easy. So everyone, when people think of flying dinosaurs, we all think of the pterosaurs. These included, let's see, what did they include? Pterodactyl, obviously, was one of them. But there's plenty of others. So let's see. I've got a little reference picture here. So we have. It's not showing me their damn names. Oh well. My overall point being that the if you want to picture birds on my world, picture a cross between, like, take some feathers off a bird and put them on a pterodactyl. Some birds are all scale, and then some birds are all feather but with scales underneath and dotted around. So it's like a mix. There isn't a single bird on my world that is all feathers, because most of the animals on my planet are armored for obvious reasons. So yeah, the birds look reptilian in appearance. They have a mix of scales and feathers. They have teeth, some of them. Some are quite beautiful to look at. I love this little note I've made here. Some are quite beautiful to look at, others are chillingly horrifying. Many of these birds possess legs that allow them to run at a decent rate. So yeah, there will be some flightless birds that will go in the land area, because obviously we need to have some flightless birds out there. Shout out to the ostriches, those horrifying creatures of great pain and suffering. Some birds almost lack the capability to fly and depend solely on their land running to survive. So there will be flightless birds, because we need to have some flightless birds. We all love flightless birds. Who doesn't love chickens? Who doesn't love kiwis? We need flightless birds around. Of course, I will make them the most terrifying and horrifically visually unpleasant flightless birds you will ever lay your eyes upon, because I'm cruel and I enjoy it. Anyway. First bird to be added to the roster. So let me check and see for you how many birds I've got that we will be discussing today. I don't think I've got many insects, so I feel like, yeah, I've got a lot of birds. So they're going to focus on making insects for this session, which will be great. So we're going to start off with a new page, new bird dropped, and it's this little guy. Weavished. That's apparently how it's pronounced. I figured that out. This is one of the ones I made ages ago. So you can tell which ones were made a while ago by the little phonetic helper here. So the Weavish are small and heavy flying creatures with shining wings that look transparent, almost transparent, despite them being nearly transparent. The scales on its body, head, and tail are blue. It also has an elongated neck and a very small beak. They are only native to this place, which is spelled wrong, but we're not going to correct that yet. And even there, they are not common. So this is a rare bird. We got our first rare bird over here. I really wish more than anything that I was even slightly talented at drawing, because then I could add concept art to this and you could visually see what this thing looks like. But you're gonna have to just use that mind palace of yours to figure out what it looks like. But it is small and heavy, and it has shining wings that are obviously gonna be, let's put that in there. Shining wings, bigger, twice as large as its body to support its weight. It almost looks transparent. I really love doing this series, this Rebuild Obsidian thing, because you get to have a look at behind the curtain and realize just how much authors improvise on the go. Like, sure, some authors will have some things planned before they've put anything out there publicly. Other authors, they'll have like the groundwork, everything they need for like one book, and then they need to develop more. I don't need to develop any of this, by the way, but it's fun. Also, because I deleted Obsidian, as we all remember, and yeah, I need to get it all back. So, also, apologies if I'm breathing into the mic too much. I really don't know how sensitive the microphone is. I only find out when and even now I don't really rewatch my streams when I really should, so I can figure out optimal, positioning and area and whatnot. But then that requires making notes of how far the microphone was to my face and like what setting it's on and all my settings, and just I can't be bothered with that. So until someone tells me, hey, get your microphone out of your mouth, I'm not going to make any changes. I'll just keep streaming until someone tells me otherwise. Also, little experiments right now, actually. If there's any lurkers out there, do me a favor and say hi in the chat, because I've been hearing about this whole thing that Twitch has done where they've like stopped counting lurkers as viewers. So I'm just curious. So if you are lurking, say hi in the chat and let me see if this is actually a thing. So if Twitch is secretly hiding like 20 viewers in the back rooms from me, so that it won't let me reach my final form and become actually popular. I don't know why they would do that. So it just makes it more difficult for guys like me to get an audience. I mean, I'm here just for the fun. So someone else can have my audience. Someone that actually is really desperate to have an audience, a large one, they can have mine. Because like, I'm just here for the vibes. I'm here to have a good time. Also, streaming has managed to keep me on track with doing work. So I'm finally writing my actual book more now that I'm streaming my world building stuff. I thought I got a text. Anyway. So we move on. So we have our first rare bird here. Oh. And now let's move on. So the rest of these, they're all, apart from one bird, which is the one that I made for book 2, all of these are kind of, don't have a lot of info on them. But that's okay, because at some point we can just make more info. We can add some lore, add some mythology, give it some good backstory, and see what we come up with. Yeah, it's like a new notes for the new guy that's joining the party. This one is. I'm so glad that I've got these pronunciation helpers. I need to put them on the other ones as well. Rocata. Oh, that's. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's pretty easy. Rocata. The plural is rocatas. You know what? Makes sense. So the rocata is a giant winged creature with enormous talons, a long beak, and 5 long multicolored. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? Okay. A giant winged creature with enormous talons and a long beak and 5 long multicolored tails. Sometimes I love the way my voice sounds, sometimes I hate it. Not because it sounds bad, but because it makes my throat suffer and it makes my brain suffer. So it's in so much pain. These tails can vary in color by commonly following the colors of a sky bridge rainbow. Sky bridge is what a rainbow is called here. It has a different name in every single language, but all of the names roughly translate to sky bridge. In one of the I think it was 2 of the languages, including the common tongue, it would be translated to sky bridge. In one, it's called a color road, and in another one, it's called colors of sky. So, yeah. Different variations of what is essentially a rainbow. Because rainbow makes no fucking sense to me. I need to search this actually. You know what? We're taking a pause because I need to figure out the etymology of rainbow. This makes me angry. A rainbow is an optical phenomenon. Yeah, I know. Oh, they're also a rock band. I knew that as well. I never listened to any rainbow songs, but I know of rainbow, and that's good enough for me to be cultured. Okay, here we are. Wait, no, that's mythology, not etymology. Right, rainbow etymology. Explain. Why rainbow? Originates from the Old English renboga, a compound of rain and bow, referring to the arc shape. Okay, fine. So it makes sense. Don't get all uppity with me. Just because you make sense. Shut up. Sometimes I hate etymology because it's correct, and I hate when it's correct because then I look stupid. Anyway. Rainbow. So they have white feathered chests with black spots all over, which slowly fade into a golden plumage. I love that word, plumage. It's such a pleasant word to say, isn't it? Just take a moment while you're sat there and just say it with me. Plumage. I guess it sounds better in a British accent though, so I can't imagine an American saying it. Although I guess they say it the same way. Plumage. I think it's I don't know. I don't know what makes that word so enticing to me, but I just love it. Plumage. It's such it can be said in so many ways. Yeah. You can say it like, oh yes, a glorious plumage. You can say it in a cutesy way, like, oh look at that little plumage. I'm getting off track. Moving on. There's also a variation in the colors. Some of them are brown, some are copper colored, and very rare ones are completely white. So, however, they have the black speckled chest. So we have albino rocata as well, because that's very important. So yeah, this is the one that does have feathers all over, but it was supposed to have scales underneath. I missed that detail, so I need to add that in. A creature that almost has 1b5 tails. Let's just add it here. It's skin under the feathers is composed entirely of scalies. Why? Because I said so. That's why. This is one of the great things about world building, because when you try and give it, like, people can complain all they want about how, oh, this is, you've clearly made this, seem logically sound, and then you have this detail which just makes no sense whatsoever. And you can go, yeah, but it's my world, not yours. If you don't like it, create a world and make it all make sense. But I decided to put that in there because I like it, and screw you. That's the great thing that I enjoy about being a world builder. You can just make stuff up if you want to, and no one. People can argue with you, but in the end, their argument means absolute. It's a big nothing burger. It means nothing to you. It's like, what are they going to do? They're going to delete your files. That's theft. Yeah. It's not, but what are people going to do? The worst they can do is just stand there and scream and get upset. In the end, your world is your world, and you do what you want with it, and you make it as awesome as you want to be, because they may not like it, but someone out there is going to look at this and go, holy Moses, this is amazing. I mean, no one has said that to me yet, but the time may still yet come. That's not true. I mean, I've had people in the. I'm thinking about like reviews and stuff, not counting comments on Twitch. I've had a few people say that it's like the things that I've made are, interesting, and I thank them for it. I thank you all for it. I love the encouragement. It makes me feel really good about the world I've made. It makes me feel like I'm on the right track, doing something good. So we've got a new bird drop. As you can see, very similar names here. Interesting, huh? Well, that's because this is related to this one. I need to figure out properly how we're doing animal families, but I have taken into account that there are going to be animals that are related to each other. So that opens the net for a very wide animal kingdom that I will not ever finish. Because to make it realistic, I would need to make like hundreds of thousands of different animals, and I cannot be bothered. I mean, that's a passion project that would take forever, and I don't have enough life in my body for that. So you'll get animals as they come along. New animal drops, you get to have it. But yeah. So let's fix the text here. As you can tell, this was another old one because we've got old names. So the Rugata, cousin feature of the Rokata. These black and red birds have similar command of magic as the Rokata do, instead using it to increase their proficiency as hunters. They are birds of prey that hunt in flocks to take down large game. They are coordinated, extremely stealthy, utilizing wind elemental magic to make them the greatest sky predators known. So these are essentially look the same as these guys, minus the long multicolored tails and the larger variation in color. So we're going to add a little note here. Is that it? No, we don't. So those would be black, grey, and brown, like crows, but all have the red stripe pattern on their wings. Black and red, so black with red. My God, black with a red stripe pattern. So these guys are boring. These ones, they are far more the brown, copper, and completely white. So these have more variation of the words here. And those are our bird boys. So we've got one rare little bird. This one is a relatively common bird, not especially because they are so huge. They're about as common as an albatross. These guys, unfortunately, far more common. They breed a lot more than these ones do. And And of course, they hunt down big game. So these are like kin killers essentially, because they will go after their own family members. Because technically this species is related, and well, they're in they're meant to be in the same family, so they are related. And these guys they hunt in flocks. They take down larger birds, and they are cannibals. So now we're going to add our last bird. This one I'm particularly proud of because, first of all, I've got far more information on it than the previous ones. See that? There's a nice chunky bit of text there. Let's break it up a little bit so that it's not so intimidating. There we go. So this... Oh, God, I'm sorry. My throat is just buttering water. I'm 100% going out for a snack when I finish this stream. Why not? Okay, yeah, I'm going to do a big cough. I'm going to mute for a moment so I can just clear my throat once and for all and evacuate whatever's lurking. Yeah, that feels good. Okay, back to it. So this, the Death Claw. I'm not going to bother trying to pronounce this. Or that, especially not that. Okay, so here's the thing. This right here, this is the... Where's languages? If you can see it, remember our language of the commoners right here, Folkledge. That's that. So this is the common universal language word for it. And this is the demon language name for it, and this is the warlock name for it. I only have those two, not because I'm too lazy to... Okay, yes, because I'm too lazy to to create the names in the other languages, but because like the only names that were relevant for it was the demon and warlock name, because those were the names used that are actually in book 2 that are written in there. So I needed those languages. The rest doesn't matter. So the Deathclaw is a creature native to southern Abaris. Remember, kids, that's where all the demons live. Well, that's where the demons mostly live. Obviously, immigration is a thing in this world. I took that into account when thinking about world building, so that I didn't have, you know, in this land, only the elves live there. This land, only hobbits live there. And in this land, only orcs live there. Like, yeah. Immigration is a thing. People can live in different places if they want to. So naturally, in Abaris, well, because Abaris is the way it is, first of all, it is a nightmare land within a nightmare land. So the best way I can describe Abaris, and I love using this analogy, is, well, I also don't, because I recognize that one thing that we need to remember is that all of the world's most dangerous and terrifying animals aren't just in Australia. There are things in Brazil, there are things in countries across Africa, there are things in America, in South America. There's all kinds of nasty creatures all over the world. Hell, there's even some like terrifying creatures up here in good old Blighty. I'm curious, do you have any dangerous animals native to England? Because I know that there's at least a few. Yeah, England has no large apex predators. Several wild animals can be dangerous, including the adder, so we have snakes, wild boars, territorial cattle. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to have a land animal. It's going to be a cow. It's going to be the most vicious, territorial, angry cow you've ever seen. Cows would be perfect for my planet if they also had like plated armor instead of just thick hides. Although they can still have thick eyes if they wanted to. They just need to have a thick body of some kind that protects them. Like thick leathery skin, or layers upon layers upon layers, or just straight up armor like a scorpion or an armadillo or something. So the statistically deadliest mammal in England is territorial cattle. That says so much about us. So key dangerous wild animals in England: the adder, the UK's only venomous snakes. Bites painful, rarely fatal, but dangerous. Wild boars can be aggressive. Cows and bulls, statistically the most dangerous animals in the UK, causing the most human fatalities per year due to trampling, particularly when protecting their children. Tiny parasites, ticks. I can't believe ticks make it on our list of most dangerous animals. That's embarrassing. Weaver fish. Looking on the sand, what's the weaver fish? Is that the one that looks like a rock? Oh no, it's not. But still, it looks that does look dangerous. Damn. Okay, weaver fish. So they lurk in the sand on beaches. Stepping on them causes excruciating pain from venomous dorsal spines. So yeah, checkmate Australia. We also have danger fish. Take that. And wasps and hornets. Okay. Oh, we also have scorpions. Yellowtail scorpion found in specific areas like Kent. I love that Kent is the example area for the yellow-tailed scorpion. That's wonderful. I hate it because I hate scorpions, but yeah. But don't we also have a kind of widow that's also really dangerous? I think we do. I don't know why that's not on there. Oh well. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. All right, yeah. So my analogy. Take the stereotype that all the world's worst and most fuckety animals live in Australia. When it comes to a virus, I describe it as the Australia of the planet Australia. So the whole planet is full of deadly animals, and then a virus is the stereotype place where the hell animals live. Where the gods were like, okay, anyone who lives there is so royally screwed, we cannot even put it into words. That's basically a virus, and that's where the demons live, and so they thrive in this kind of environment. That's why they're so tough as well. Anyway, back to the main point. So, this creature is native to southern Avaris, and it's a winter bird because southern Avaris is basically the South Pole. So this thing is used to very cold temperatures, and it has its own mythology already. I put that in there for a fun little tidbit for book 2. Also for context for when it arrives and everyone starts going, "Oh, so this is why." So it's a creature of extreme ill omen in most cultures, apart from demon culture, where it's known as a harbinger of extreme good fortune. Because why wouldn't it? They're demons. They see something that's literally called the Death Claw. They're like, oh yes, it's a good harvest season this year. It can also be found in areas of northern Griamar as well. So if we go back to, let me give you the visual aid here. There it is. So there's Avaris. As you can see, the south is all frosty. So this bird would hang around mostly around here and also around here. Wouldn't really be on the plains areas. Would be in the mountainous regions. And then we have northern Griamar, which is also North Pole-ish, because in the northern parts of Griamar, there are 2 countries, here and here, which are actually demon territory politically. So every country is obviously politically divided. It's apart from these two, because they're all just countries of their own, and then these places are all divided into separate countries. So these two countries at the top here are officially demon territory. Now, obviously, warlocks do live here, as well as a few other species as well. Everyone lives everywhere. Apart from here, there's very few. I don't think there are any other races that live in this country apart from the angels. They're very secluded and very protective of their space. And the rest of the world is fine with that, because everyone hates angels, so they're like, yeah, fine, we don't want to live with you, creeps. But yeah, no. All kinds of races live across here, obviously, except angels. They have they're all their own country. Demons also don't really tend to move anywhere else apart from Griamar, because they have the two countries up here, and relationships between demons and warlocks is rocky, but much compared to the other races, it's the best one. Like, out of all the races, the best allies that the warlocks have, apart from the Fel, kind of, are the demons. So, but yeah, this is Abaris. This is Nightmare Land, where no one dares go unless they have a death wish. Apart from demons, they love it there. So, the Deathclaw can also be found in Northern Griamar, as I said, because cold. And they are commonly used by demons as mounts to travel across great distances when magic would be too dangerous. I don't know if I've explained this already, but I'll just give a brief summary. The use of magic is extremely dangerous. Only if you have a really good control over it should you use it regularly. So that's why people generally try to find alternatives to using magic if they can, with everything, whether it be menial tasks or even something as big as travel. Now, thanks to warlock ingenuity, magic has been used to create long-standing portals, which can be switched on and off, kind of like doors. So in a lot of warlock countries and a lot of warlock cities, you have, I can't remember what I called them. They are mentioned in book 2, but they're basically called like portal doors. They essentially look like elevator compartments. You walk in, you press a button, and then a portal is generated around you, and it transports you to wherever your destination is, because the metal plate that you put your hand on reads, your intention, because it's magic. I think that's how I found it. It's either that or you say it out loud, which makes more sense because, well, it doesn't make much more sense, but it makes more sense to me, which is the most important part. The rest of you could just think, oh, magic, fun. Anyway, so yeah, they're used as mounts. It's one of the largest known birds. It is a big boy, as you will find out in book 2. It's modeled very similarly to demons, as it has black, brown, or grey feathers on its back and a belly with red highlights at the tips. For context, demons mostly they can have hair color of ranging variety from black to grey to blonde to any color they like, really. But one feature that all demons have is that they have their hair goes red at the tips. So every demon has red highlights, unless it's bald. Unless they are bald, then no, they don't have the red highlights, I guess. But all demons have red highlights. They all have red tips they're all there. Everyone's hair goes red at the end. Everyone, no matter what. It's a demon thing. It's just how their hair goes. Why? Because I said so. So the wings are completely devoid of feathers, relying on widespread leathery skin that extends across like bat wings. See what I mean? Cross between feathers and scales. So, pterodactyl with wings. So it allows them to beat their wings hard for a running takeoff, and they rely on wind current for gliding flight. So we've got that right. So this one is very much up to speed. We don't need to make any changes. Their name comes from the words, so this is death and this is claw in Folklage, the common tongue, meaning death claw. Due to their razor talons, the main method of hunting by swooping down and grabbing unsuspecting land animals. I know that I did say that they wouldn't do the dive thing, but I would argue that a good way to make this work is that they swoop and they grab in one swift motion. So they use the momentum of diving down to get back up when they tip up, and then they just, occasionally beat their wings because they have enough momentum to go back up into the air as long as they are precisely on target, which these guys are because they're awesome. So this is mirrored in the demon name, which which means dying blade, which is awesome. Warlocks came to name them Doomfix to mean dark wing. Ooh, badass. This guy got the good treatments. This bird, he's got a load of badass names. So they're considered bad luck to Darkwing because they're considered bad luck to C1 and would spread such darkness during flight that they could completely black out the sun. Very scary indeed. Imagine seeing that when you're just walking down to get your groceries. So that's the Deathclaw. Deathclaws will be showing up in book 2. I hope that everyone gets attracted. Don't get attracted to the Deathclaw, please. That's weird. I hope everyone gets attached to the Deathclaw that shows up. He is such a good boy. Oh, my eye. Hang on a second. I think I'm going to sneeze. No, I didn't sneeze, and it sucked because I was ready for it, and then my nose just kept itching and itching, and it's still itching. I hate when that happens. Ugh, okay. We have our birds. So now we get to move on to insects. So let's get the insect fact sheet up. I don't think we'll make any birds. We'll focus on making insects, unless I've already got plenty. It looks like I've got at least 3, so I might not even need to make insects either. But we'll still make some anyway. We'll make one bird and one insect, because why not, right? Okay, so we've got 4 insects that we can create. That's awesome. Okay. Cool. All right. First things first, insect fact sheet. Let's go. Because we need to know how insects work. Again, apologies if I'm breathing into the mic. I will resist doing that. I don't think we have an insect thing, which is fine. One thing that I do remember, and I hate because this would literally be my worst nightmare. Insects on this world are, yep, you guessed it, they are huge. And I hate that. I thought it was paramount that if I'm going to create a horrifying world, it needs to also be horrifying to me. Like, even I need to be like, no, I would not live here. This is a terrible place. And I would be crying myself to sleep every night. I felt that was pretty important for, making a world that was supposed to be a scary world. How can I make a scary world if it's not also scary to me? Then it doesn't, I can't really. I feel like it would be missing a little bit of authenticity if even I don't find it a little scary. So, because I know lots of authors, they would say, like, I feel like lots of them would say, oh, if someone asked, would you live in your world? They'd be like, oh, yes. I mean, that's why a lot of people create worlds, isn't it? Because they want to make a world that they would love to escape to, I would not want to escape to this. I'd hate it. Spiders the size of tree trunks and animal. It doesn't matter where you go. Every animal has a creative way to kill you. Yeah, no, I'd hate it. I would not want to live here. And that's the point. If I don't want to live here, why would anyone else want to do it? But, obviously at the same time, I want people to want to pretend to be in this world at the very least. If someone is actually like, yes, I would love to live here, I would go, okay, well, you're insane. But you do you, not gonna yuck your yum here. If this is what you want, all the power to you. I think you might need help, but great. But I do want people to, want to pretend to want to be in this world. So like thinking, oh yeah, if I could play a role-playing game where I was in this world, I would definitely play that. Like I would play that too, obviously. I would love more than anything to play a actual MMORPG that was set in my world. That would be the peak of my writing career. If that happened, I would stop everything. I would just be like, that's it. I have achieved the ultimate goal in life. I'm done. Don't need to do anymore. I'm good. So, obviously, I finished my books because, we need the lore. So, anyway, we're getting off track. Let's get back to insects because we've got some insects dropping, and I want to tell you about them. So this one, I think this was actually the first insect I ever made. Oh man, memories. So we have, I think we might need to change the name of this thing though. Should we workshop a new name? Yeah, let's workshop a different name, but later. So these creatures are medium-sized and thin, with long, thick, transparent wings that flap at a high speed, creating a whistling sound when they fly. They're dragonflies, essentially. Yeah. They're about the length of an average person's forearm. Yeah, so I really don't know. I really don't know if I have average forearms. I think for a man, I have average forearms, average sized, average length and thickness. But yeah, even average forearm is a pretty wild length for a insect. You enjoying this now? You still want to live in this world where the dragonflies are the size of your friggin' forearm? I don't. They're usually green in color, but can also be hued with blue or purple, which is so dazzling. I would actually like to see that from a respectable distance. On their tails, they have a small bulb that lights up during the night for attracting smaller bugs to eat. The name Boreals comes from the Aeonic words Vor meaning day and Hult meaning light. We need to check that. Let's fact check right here. Did I just... Oh. Okay. Oh god, wrong one. Fact check. Let's go. So, day. And... what's the other word? What was the other word? Light. Yes. Okay, so that's wrong. Is it in there twice? It's not. I mean, we could say that because the problem is these have already showed up in the first book. The name is everywhere. I can't change it. Well, I can, but I don't want to. So we can just pretend that it got switched around. No big deal. Who cares? Languages are funny that way. Should we make up some mythology for this thing? Let's do it. Yeah, I'm gonna make some mythology. I feel like this thing would have some folklore around the gold on their tail. So, let's make it something spooky. It is said that that when a throat is followed during the night, it will lead you to the void. The void, children, is the place where the old gods, I want to say reside, but that's technically not true. It's sort of like where they, I guess reside is the most apt way to describe the void. Because the old gods, you see, they are eternally locked in a deep sleep. So they're conscious, but they aren't really aware of things unless something happens that wakes them up, such as a cataclysmic event involving one of their artifacts in the second book. Yeah, so the void is kind of like where they are. The void is also like the endless expanse of blackness in outer space, but like the people of the planet don't know that, kind of. Well, they know about the endless expanse of space. They just don't know that that's also the void. So they don't know that the old gods are swirling all around them. Yeah, this will be our little mythology. So in old times, it was thought that when you followed one of these things during the night, it would lead you to the void. And just to clarify, the void is not considered like heaven or hell. Everyone acknowledges there's a unifying acknowledgement among all people on this planet that when you die, you just die. Okay, there's no culture of like, oh, when I die, I'll go. Apart from any races that don't believe in the old gods, because there are other gods that exist. So, for example, angels believe that when they die, they will be absorbed back into God and then just get reborn and recreated, remade into something else. Angels are essentially like constantly being recycled. Demons believe in slightly the same thing, but instead of being remade as a demon again, you could be remade as anything. So Baphomet, the High King and the god of demons, it could decide you're going to be, your parts will be used for the materials for a chair. You never know. And it also depends on, like with angels, it doesn't matter what you do in life, as long as you don't go against the Father, you're fine. Whereas with demons, it's more sort of like the more you progressed in life, the better you'll be when you reincarnate, when you're remade. Warlocks believe in the old gods, so they just are like, yep, when we die, we die. Nothing else happens. We just know that we live for like 600 to 900 years. So, live it well, enjoy. You got plenty of it, plenty to do in 900 years, right? Fairies believe in reincarnation as well, because they believe in Firiel, which is Firiel is a controversial figure in this world. I know I'm going on a tangent here and talking about religions when we should be on animals, but I felt why not talk about this? Firiel is a controversial. Use words. Firiel is a Am I having a stroke today? What's going on? Firiel is a controversial, that's the word, controversial figure, because she's seen as technically not a god by many, because she's actually, all of the gods are acknowledged as real things because they've all been seen by actual people at some point. There's plenty of records of them actually coming to the planet and being in physical form, you know. So it's kind of hard to deny that kind of evidence. But Ferial is not really seen as a god by many because Ferial was a far more prominent historical figure, known as the birth person of all fairy kind. Like, it was actually witnessed by hundreds of thousands of people. This person named Ferial that created the fairies. But with the amount of power that Ferial had, because it took a lot of effort for the first ancestors to create their descendants, and that was achieved by a combination of, breeding and the use of magic and magical engineering, whereas Ferial made these purely from magic. So, that's why she's revered as a god in. So, why did I nearly vomit? Oh my god. Water time. Hang on, water break. Oh, disgusting. Right, yes, Ferial. Use magic to create the fairies. That's why she's seen as a god. So I completely forgot where I was going with all of that, but now you have that knowledge. So you're welcome. Anyway, we have our mythology for the Forelds. It will lead you to the void. Oh yeah, that was my overlying point. The void is not like a heaven or hell kind of place. It's just where the gods, the old gods specifically, live / sleep / swirl around in eternal. I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for here? Is it entropy? I feel like that's the word that I'm looking for. Lack of order or predictability. Gradual decline is disorder. I mean, I guess that makes sense. A lack of order or predictability. So I guess entropy is a good word to describe it. Anyway, moving on, we have more insects to add. More giant insects that I do not want to be anywhere near. This bad boy. Oh my god. There we go. Announced fur trails. So let's get the thing up there. Fur trail, a tiny creature. It's small, pill-shaped. Okay, we need to define size here, because pill-shaped is going to imply that it's actually small, and that's not true. Roughly fitting into a person's palm. Let's do with that. Let's go if it's in the palm. So it's palm sized. So it's like holding a tennis ball sized insect. You're welcome for that visualization. Identified by white patterns on its back that, when wings extended, looks like a skull. Ah, yes, I wanted a death's head bee. So here we have the death's head bee. Also makes a trilling noise that folklore says should instill fear in the listener as it signals impending danger. So yeah, the death's head bee, because I wanted a death's head moth and I also wanted bees. So picture a bee that is sitting in your palm. It is a cute little thing, but when it buzzes, you start screeching and freaking out because it means you're going to die. All the cops are coming, one or the other. Oh man, I love some of the things that I've made because they're just so. Ah yes, this is going to require a lot of explanation, so buckle your britches, bitches. Fialde. So remember when I was talking about fairies? These are fairies. They are called Fialde in my book. And this is what I meant when I said that there are many different kinds of fairies. So some classes are separated and seen more as creatures rather than beings in their own right. Those that are separate regarded as classes of insects due to their wings. So Fialde, they are fairies. I would say about 70% of Fialde are actual sentient beings that, well, they are more like people rather than creatures. I mean, creatures are sentient as well, but about 70% of them are actual like people. You know, they have society and jobs and whatnot. And then the rest of them are more like creatures. And of those rest of them, none of them are considered like actual mammals. They're classified as insects because they are all small and winged. So they fit more with insects rather than mammals. And the way they're formed, the way they look, the way they act, very insect-like. They also, I think there was one class that I made that also lays eggs, but they still reproduce the same way. So, I also made this interesting thing about an argument of the culture around Fialde and how they view their insectoid counterparts, because I remember an interesting topic coming up when I was discussing these things with someone who was also a writer, and they were like, wait, so can the people fairies mate with the insect fairies? And I never actually specified no. That's not anywhere here. So I was like, well, I didn't specify, so right now, yes. So they could, and then it became this whole thing about like, is there like, so I decided to put in this thing about how there's a big sort of one of the biggest points of debates, controversial debates in the fairy culture is, is it okay to dine the insects? And I kind of hate myself for doing it, but it is an interesting thing to, because then you would be thinking like, is it okay? Like they are the same species, kind of. Is it BC? Is it not? That makes it a very fun sort of dilemma that in world is discussed quite a lot. I wonder how readers are going to take that. I'll find out one day. And speaking of the insects, fairies, oh my god, we have one right here, which I believe the name needs to be changed. Well, I could say this is the common name and then give it a different name in another language and just be like, later on in the book, just change it and be like, oh, this is the name in the actual language, and then just constantly use that. Easy fix for the first book if oh, voice crack. Easy fix for the first book if there's names in there that I'm like, oh, that's supposed to be different. I could just change it later on and be like, well, this is the name in this language, and then just use that name from now on, and then it's lore accurate, thank God. But yeah, this is a class, it's only semi-sentient. Their tiniest form of fairy. I was going to say fairy because it's easier. Even smaller and live inside tree trunks. They live on tree bark and moss and look remarkably like the elves, though no connection between the two species has ever been confirmed. Fun fact about this one: this animal is used as a insult against elves, because the way they're formed, they look similar to elves in the sense of like the patterns on their bodies, because elves have like tattoo-ish like patterns on their face, kind of like scarification. Oh no, I got a notification from you. Sorry, something about my bank that's just been annoying me recently. Last month I signed up for this. I made the stupid decision of signing up for this like box from something called Outfittery, where they send you like a monthly box full of clothes to try on. I thought, yeah, try that. You know, I need to update my style, expand my wardrobe. So they gave me a box full of like very expensive clothes. I had no idea they were that expensive. And the weird thing is, you pay £10 for the box, but then you have to pay for every clothing item that you keep as well, which makes no sense. You should get the box for free and then pay for the clothes. So the jig is that you try the clothes on. If you like all of them, you keep all of them and pay for all of them. If you don't like them, you send them back and you don't pay for any of them. I didn't like any of them because they didn't fit, even though I got the largest sizes. And I was like, yeah, of course, another place where you get the largest size and they still don't fit because people, you know, don't understand how human bodies work. So I sent them all back. I sent them all back like one day late because I had a long work shift, and now they're constantly trying to charge me £500. And I'm just like, I sent them back. You got them back. Stop asking me for money. But they're still doing it, so I'm probably going to complain. Anyway, enough of that. So I believe this is all of the flying animals that I've made. So now we've got, how long are we going? An hour and 40 minutes. So yeah, I can say we can finish this off at 2 hours. So let's make some new creatures, shall we? Let's start with a bird. We'll do the same as before that we did with the water creatures. We do little notes, give it a name, maybe give it some kind of use or a fun little folklore, something like that. So let's start with a bird. Let's see. Oh my eye. Okay. Well, last time with the water creatures, we made a cod. We made a very common animal that's used for food. So now the thing about food on this planet, right? Mushrooms are central to everything in this world. Mushrooms are gold mines. They provide clothing, they provide decoration, they provide housing, they provide lighting, they provide paint, they provide so many things. They are like the core of every society. And one thing they provide, obviously, is food. If I go to my mushrooms notes here, I've got an entire 3 pages dedicated to just mushroom lore and all the uses of mushrooms in this world. So I'm gonna read that up here. In fact, you know what? I'll make a page here so that you can see it as well. Bring you in on the fun. Mushroom lore. Oh god. Mushroom lore. Oh wait, this is in the other notes, and they're all scattered, so I'd need to like list it properly. So, but I'll read it out to you. Oh, wrong notes. Damn it. The mushroom lore is in the 72-page document. Wait for it to load up. I might start the second half early, mainly because I'm so excited for the thing that I'm going to do in the second half. It's going to be hilarious. Why won't you scroll down? Oh my god, it's still loading the pages. That's why it won't scroll down. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Supercontinent. Life on land. Eye colors. Okay, here we go. So where's the beginning of the mushroom thing? Okay, so this followed on from when I was figuring out how like plants would look. So plants, like the plants on my planet, the main colors that you would find them are purples, ranges of different purples and indigo, black or deep brown, copper and bronze, and also earthy browns. And a very rare pigment in fact, is actually a muted olive green, which is quite funny. So the script is very flipped here, where on our planet, green is very ordinary and common. On this planet, green would be very rare and almost alien looking. I like that. So there's also like I also made like you know places where dominant plant colors would be. So for example, in the poles and in the tundras, the dominant plant colors would be dark purple and black, mainly because of like low light and high efficiency. So in Abaris, for example, that's why if we go to the map here, oh, here we go. So that's why this is black, because that's, lore accurate. You can keep looking at that. Actually, I'll switch you to the parchment while I explain the mushrooms, so you can look at the beautiful parchment map and get acquainted with how the land works. But anyway, mushrooms. So let me get to the mushroom part. So we've got, first of all, the mushroom colors was the first thing that I wanted to know about, which is the same as the rest of the plants. Primary default color for mushrooms is deep brown or charcoal and dark violet. And other variants, I've got purple and plum color, black and charcoal, copper, rust and bronze, but also pale white. And obviously these mushrooms are bioluminescent, or at least bioluminescent mushrooms are extremely common. So let's go a brief summary of everything that mushrooms are used for. So they're used for textiles and clothing. They're used to create a sort of fungal leather, but also used to make silks. That's cultivated from underground mycelium mats and also broad fibrous mushrooms. And they're used to make flexible sheets and coarse, durable textiles. And they're also naturally water resistant, breathable, and biodegradable, so that makes them perfect for this. And then they're also used for food. So mushrooms, just as a nutrients, they're farmed as high protein, meat-like food sources, which is why I really liked that idea, because I didn't want to have a big meat industry. Again, my inner environmentalist is showing, but I thought it'd be nice to have on this planet. There's such a horror, such a terrible, nightmarish horror carnival. It's nice to have small details like this that, like, hey, like there's no ravenous meat industry here, because everyone just mainly for like high protein. Mushrooms is the biggest source of protein. Nobody really thinks of eating animals. Obviously, animals are eaten. Like we're gonna have like the cod is eaten. We'll have some land mammals that are also eaten, but it'll be like land mammals will be rare. And I think I'll also make the fish. They're very common to be fished, but they're not actually eaten as much. Eating fish would be considered kind of like eating highbrow sushi. It's something you do on a special occasion. It's not like a commoner food that you just eat. Like, oh, you finished work, let's go to the fish and chips. You'd be, if you finish work, you're going to have your fish and mushrooms. So so you've got there's lots of variety for mushrooms. You can have there's sweet mushrooms that are used in pastries and fermenting drinks. There's bitter umami kind of mushrooms, which are the meat substitutes. And then you've got some luminescent mushrooms that are eaten as like luxury garnish and also for decoration for big feasts, because tables, the way that wood is in this planet, the tables have a very dark look about them when they're made. So having these luminescent mushrooms to decorate the place, it looks beautiful. So yeah, and that also had me come to this. So meals, I got this note here. Meals on this world would look rich like meals on this world look rich tones of burgundy, black and violet, rather than bright greens and yellows. And even bread and ale would have a dark wine-like hue. So everything has a visually moody, earthy tone. I love that. So another thing, so they're used for textiles, used for food. Did I miss one? Textiles and clothing. Yeah, textiles, food. Also for dyes, paints, and decorations. So you can produce red and maroon colorants, purple and violet, copper and orange, and then white and glowing pigments, of course. Makes sense. So these mushrooms are used in making wall paints for inside decoration for your houses. They're also used in cosmetics for making like glimmering metallic lipsticks, and then also used in ink. Another one that I decided to go with, I squeezed out every possible use I could for mushrooms. I need to remember, by the way, what this relates back to so that I round this up to a point. We were making a new bird. How did we get onto mushrooms from this? I've completely forgotten how we got to mushrooms. Oh well, but we're on mushrooms now, so I'm going to talk about mushrooms because I love mushrooms. So mushrooms are also used in architecture and building. This is because we have houses and tools that are made of compressed fungal pulp. They're lightweight, they're insulating, and they're naturally fire resistant, so it makes the perfect building material. Exterior surfaces, some of them also grow a living mycelium layer. So a lot of buildings, this is particularly prominent in, let me bring up that map again so I can show you. One surface here, this area. So in this continent, all around, even though some of the cities around here are kind of, especially on this border here, they're kind of submitting to the industrialization from the warlocks. Yes, because even in a fantasy world, I still needed to have colonization. Well, it's not colonization per se. I don't know. Is it colonization? I'm going to search and find out. What counts as colonization? This is one of my weirdest Google searches. Process where a foreign state or group gains control over a territory outside its borders. Okay, that's fine. So this is not colonization because they're not taking control. They're just like, would you like to buy our things and make your cities less tribal and more industrial? So would it be industrialization? So I believe the term is industrialization then. Process of transforming an agricultural or agrarian society into one dominated by manufacturing, machine-driven production, and industrial labor. Okay, so yeah, this is industrialization that's happening, not colonization. Very important distinction. Yeah, so along these lines, these cities are succumbing to the plague of industrialization. All these warlocks being like, hey, you should make your cities more the rise of capitalism sweeping the nation. God, that sounds terrible now that I think about it. But screw it. I mean, the warlocks aren't good people. There's no good people in this world, technically. Anyway, back to good things, back to mushrooms. So, yeah, they're used for architecture and buildings. So, in that upper area that I showed you before, a lot of the housing do have these living mycelium layers, so the houses have a very organic and mottled look. And this was the same in the olden times over here, like when races other than the warlocks showed up and were just living with the land. And then the warlocks were like, hey, you know what, let's make factories and stuff. So yeah, and over time, walls develop subtle patterns of living color. So copper patches, dark purples, and it also depends on what the species is. So some of these cities appear textured, velvety, warm-toned, and not shiny and metallic like Japan, like Tokyo, or I don't know, Dubai, or Birmingham. Anyway, the structures breathe faintly in humidity and carry the scent of soil as if alive. So if you were to walk into a city that had this natural feel to it, it wouldn't feel like you were walking through an industrial city. It would feel like you were walking through one of those things. What are they called? Biodome, I think. Yeah. I don't know. Those things, I can't remember the name. I don't know how to describe it to find the name out, but it's one of those, like those like big domes that people can visit where you just walk through all naturally sustained area that's like in the middle of the city or something. One of those. It feels like you're walking through a, a living, breathing, natural city, but it's a naturally grown city from the soil up. And it's quite an experience. That's one thing that I would love about this planet. If I was, I'm so sorry. If I were to actually want to be in this planet, that's something that I would love. Just like being in the living cities that feels like just nature alive everywhere. It's wonderful. So yeah, they're also used for lighting mushrooms. This is another use. So the glow shrooms are used to replace like candles or lanterns. So instead of using fire, which can be disastrous, you use mushrooms. Another thing, the two main sources that are used for light in this world are mushrooms and crystals. There are crystals that are used that have a glow effect to them. But they're used way less commonly than mushrooms. It's more likely that people will create little mini habitats where they can like sustain mushrooms inside and then use their bioluminescence for lighting. So they are used commonly for street lighting, not in warlock cities. They prefer crystals because they are industrial capitalist assholes. And then, of course, in clothing trim, so you can have actual bioluminescent, like you can have glowing trims on your clothing. So in the middle of the night, your clothes will be glowing in wonderful patterns. It's striking. And then, of course, in house interiors, because of the natural layer used on the housing, the mushrooms can just naturally grow there as well. So they can hang from the ceiling and they can be decorated as well to look more contained and more decorative, or you can just leave them there naturally and let them grow, and then they're used for natural lights. So you can have living panels emitting a soft light, or you can have bioluminescent wallpaper in as well, even. Not something that I've really explored, bioluminescent wallpaper. I don't really like the sound of that. I like more the idea of having like secluded little lanterns, like maybe like a bunch of mushrooms collected in like a glass bowl that sits at the middle in the top of a room, and then it creates like a natural light to it, which just looks beautiful. And then of course there's a lot of cultural significance. So there are some species of mushrooms have very big religious importance and mythic importance. Some rare species are also sacred, or were treated sacred, and therefore they are in turn respected. So there are some species of mushrooms that are like protected by like land laws in certain countries because of their you know original sacred status. So they can't be harvested, they can't be touched, and they also impact even though warlocks are very like the most advanced race, mushrooms still affect their culture in terms of how they dress, because certain kinds of fabrics made, like if you have a very rare fabric made with a rare mushroom type, or if you have a certain luminescence that's very rare, like the white pale luminescence, then you're considered a person of status, like someone who can afford some nice things. So that's why you see, like the religious leaders of the warlocks, they all usually wear white because they have their clothes made by the the rare pale / white pigmented mushrooms, and that's like they're supposed to speak to their status as prominent figures in society, because the religious leaders, religion is very strong and important in warlock society, so obviously the religious leaders have a lot of power and they have a lot of status, and their clothes reflect that. This is the kind of things that I think about on the regular, so that was a nice little lesson in mushrooms for you. You're welcome. You didn't need this info, but you have it now, and you should be grateful. But back to creating. So this thing, how did we get some mushrooms from this? You know what? Let's make a flightless bird that feasts on mushrooms. Why not? Eats the sweet mushrooms. So this will be a, let's get the main point up there first. So it's a flightless bird. Eats the sweet mushrooms. Also eats plants and insects. Because why not? But it prefers the sweet mushrooms, because who doesn't love a nice sweet treat? Easts. Oh my god. We're going to make this another little squishy. So it's big and fat with, let's make it fully scaled. Already, I'm just picturing this big fat ball of scales, and already it looks horrifying. So this is going to be great. Let's see, it has no neck. It's going to have, let's give it a long beak as well. So long, thin beak. It's kind of like a, what's it called? A heron? Isn't it? A heron is what I'm thinking of. I need to visually verify. Yeah, a heron. Well, I mean, that's not very long. I think a beak longer than that. But it looks like a heron, so it's got a... Ow. Oof. Shit. Anyway. Yeah, heron. So heron's got a pretty pointed beak, so I'd say like a heron's beak, but a little bit longer. So yeah, long, thin beak, pointed. What else do we want? Does it travel by rock? Oh, I got a good one. Rolls up like armadillo for protection. Let's say that when it's defending itself, it pretends to be a rock. So it'll have like a, because obviously the rocks, the primary color of a rock, like how here primary rock color is like grayish. Primary rock color on this planet is like a reddish color. So it's going to be red in color, red scales. And then opens up and stabbies with beak. So that's how it'll attack predators that tries to attack it. It'll impale you with its pointy snooter. Oh my god, what the hell? More Donald Trump news. Can't put that guy. Anyway, so stabbies with beak. Do we want some mythology or some use? Let's say it's like a very, so this creature would be one that's like used to person presence, so can be urban. So this thing could be found in like urban places. Let's make it native. We don't have enough native to Briamar. Not enough animals from that side of the fence, so we'll make it native to that continent. And it's gotten used to being in the cities, so it can be a city boy. And since mushrooms are easily found, it primarily feasts on the sweet mushrooms. Um, let's say that they are, I don't know, they are often lured into people's gardens and or just gardens as a means of keeping away pests, insects. So they will be enticed in with sweet mushrooms. So we'll make that a thing where people will purposely like cultivate the sweet mushrooms in their gardens to attract this bird, so that it sets up home in their gardens, and then in turn will also like start feasting on insects that happen to like be pests for the garden, because obviously they do eat plants, but they won't eat certain plants, and or maybe that'll be a thing, like it's a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, they keep away the insects, but they might also eat your plants unless you keep the mushrooms stocked. I like that. That's a good idea. We're going to go with that. So since this is going to be a wallet thing, we're going to give it a name in this language. So do we have any, what words do we have so far? Flower, plant. I know what we'll call it. Do we have any words associated with length? There's lots of words here that I've got here. No, okay. So we're going to make up a new word. So how do we pronounce this? Vaki. Vaki. That's how you pronounce it. So where is it? It's the wrong thing. Oh, Christ. Hang on. There it is. So this will be the word for long. Do we have the word for face? We don't. Let's make one. Hey, that's the new word for face. Please. 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 That's how you pronounce it. Please. Well, we need a different. Hang on. Oh God, I need to stop clicking on those things. So we need this. Oh, I don't have the. Hang on. I can find it somewhere else here. It should be. I need the special eye for this. Ah, yes, there it is. Okay, so this is the word for face. So this thing will be called. What's the first word? Where is it? Wait, no, it's the word for long. Okay, that's its name. That's a cool name for such a tiny creature. Meaning long face. Long face. Birds the long way. All right, we got ourselves a new bird. New flightless bird dropped. I love it. I love this little guy. And I love the use that we have for it as well, that it's purposely brought into gardens to keep away the insects, but it might also eat your plants. So it's gotta be careful with this one. Well, I know I said we make an insect, but it's been actually I really want to get to the next part. Part 2 is going to be so much fun. So, new animal. We finished doing the flying beast. I think we'll continue. So after we've done the land ones, we'll see if that only takes one stream. Probably will. I'll just go for as long as it needs to go. And then obviously we'll make something extra in the stream. And then after that, I think we'll spend maybe 1 or 2 streams expanding on these a little more, so maybe add a few more animals to the list. I mean, we've got a lot already. Let's expand everything we got here. So we've got a fair few creatures already. It's going to get a lot bigger once we add the land animals in there, so that'll be fun. But yeah, I think for now we can take a break and move along to part 2 of the stream. So go get yourself a cup of tea, go and have a little smoke break or whatever it is you want to do, and we will reconvene in, let's give it 10 minutes, shall we? 10 minutes. So see you all later on.